Alright, we're here again, another video here with Sam Smitty. Where you been, Smitty?
Took a little vacation. I was gone for about a month. I went to the Philippines, enjoyed it, but I'm back and ready to start the videos again. Apologize for not having a video for over a month, but we're going to get right back into it. Got a lot of birds here for you guys to look at.
Yep, very many birds here, nice looking birds. This video is going to be regarding creating a family, stuff like that. You want to touch on a little bit about this family, Sam?
Yeah, this particular family of birds is a family I've been working with for probably about 10 years. They are a red-headed hen 1220 cross. Basically Bob Scott birds, but red-headed and 1220 are the two major components that make up this family of birds.
How do these birds perform up in the sky? Excellent performers. Their speed is really good. Their depth is just about 20 to 30 feet. Style and velocity, really exceptional. That's why I decided to focus on these birds and make a family of this particular type of birds. Okay, for these newcomers, people just getting into the hobby, and they want to create their own family and stuff. What do you think they should be focusing on or looking for?
Okay, three things in particular that you definitely want to focus on. You want to focus on velocity. And when I talk about velocity, I'm not just talking about birds that are fast, birds that roll. I'm talking about birds that roll with a specific velocity. In that when you see those birds roll, they're straight over backwards. The roll is tight. There's no wings out. The birds don't turn from side to side. They don't fight the roll. A bird that rolls straight and extremely tight, that's velocity. Okay. Speed, velocity is not the same thing.
Okay.
A bird that rolls with extreme velocity, you can have birds that roll fast, but when you see a bird that rolls with extreme velocity, it stands out. It does not roll like the rest of the birds. So the three things that I talk about: velocity, depth, and speed. Those are the things that I focus on when I'm building a family. You also want to look at type, and when I talk about type, you're talking about the size of the bird, talking about how the bird stands. So again, a couple of things. Just to give you an example, this cock is the foundation cock for this particular family of birds. Very nice bird. He's built the way I like the birds to be built. He's got a nice wing. I've produced great flyers out of this bird. Again, great speed, depth, velocity. When I talk about an ideal, this is what I want the birds to mirror. So you put him in the cage and get a good look at him. Take a good look at him there. He becomes the standard of what I want the family to look like.
I heard a term being tossed around about selective breeding. Can you touch up on a little bit of that? Selective breeding, and what does it mean?
Okay. Selective breeding, if you bred, say, 20 birds, out of those 20 birds, if you're building a family, all 20 of those birds are not going to go into that family. You have to look at the traits and the characteristics that you are looking for. If this bird is the standard, then the birds that are bred off of them have to meet that standard. They have to be fast in the air, they have to have good depth, and they have to have good style. If they don't have those three things, they're gone. They're out of the equation. You get rid of those birds. They can be good birds, but they don't meet the standard. They have to go. So selective breeding, you have to be extremely disciplined in what you keep and what you don't keep. Here's another bird, which is a brother or a half-brother to the cock that you just saw. This is a half-brother to him.
And we keep going about the selective breeding. Now, when you're flying young birds, how often do you fly them? How many in a group or in a kit? How do you do it here?
Okay, ideally, when you're flying kit competition based on the rules, 20 bird kit, 16 bird kit, depending on what club you're flying in and what that organization's specific rules are. When I'm just homing in birds, and I'll fly 25 to 30 birds in a kit. For competition, obviously you're going to break them down to 20 birds, but 25 to 30 birds in a kit is pretty much ideal. You said when I fly these birds, how often do I fly them?
Yes, how often?
Now, most people fly the birds once a day. I like to fly my birds twice a day. And the reason I fly them twice a day is I don't have a whole lot of time. It's not like I have 8 hours a day to fly my birds. So I try to fly them twice a day. What that does, it also brings the birds into the roll a little faster with my family of birds. If I fly them once a day, they come in anywhere from 3 to 5 months. Mostly about 3 months. I get to see exactly what the birds are doing. I get to see exactly how their performance is progressing. But when I fly them twice a day, it really cuts the time down, and I see my birds come into the roll a lot faster.
Okay, that was going to be my other question, is when should young birds start coming in?
Okay, it's really going to depend on the family that you breed. This particular family of birds, 3 months, and you see really good progression. At 5 months, the birds are pretty much in, and you see exactly what the birds are going to be doing. Here in Southern California, we pretty much have anywhere from 3 to 4 months that we can fly uninterrupted by the Cooper, by the Falcon. The rest of the year, we got a horrible Falcon problem. So we try to make sure you cram everything into that period and fly the birds and get as much productivity out of them as possible. So 3 months is ideal for Southern California. Where you are, maybe a little different. But certain families of birds, like you've got families of birds that don't come in for 12 months. In Southern California, if you had a family of birds that didn't come in for 12 months, at the end of 12 months, you'd have 0 pigeons. Every single one of them would be eaten. So our birds have to come in a lot faster.
We got a pretty severe birds of prey issue here.
Exactly,
but,
exactly.
Nothing we can do about that. But.
Back to families. This particular cockbird, and I keep going back to this cockbird and this one right here, they're half brothers. What I've done, these birds right here are all offspring off of these 2 cockbirds. So I took these 2 cockbirds, which are half brothers. They were both flown out. They were both excellent in the air. They had all the attributes that I wanted to start a family. But they're half brothers. They're not full brothers. I took this hen, which is my foundation hen. She is related to both cocks. Beautiful eye on this hen. Beautiful type. And I bred her to both hens. Flew the babies, selected the ones that I considered the best in the air, and stocked the best of the best. These are all cockbirds on the top. These are all hens on the bottom.
Okay.
If you notice that these birds model out, when I say model out, they have the black spots in them. They're black models. They also throw red models, and they'll go completely white. So all these birds that you see here all go back to 2 cocks and 1 hen. So in a family, I mean, we have an expectation. We want all our birds to roll alike. Everybody likes to watch a kit and the birds are all rolling alike.
Right.
But then we have a really unreal expectation that birds that have nothing to do with each other, that are not related, are going to act alike, are going to fly alike, and going to perform alike. Well, that's kind of an impossibility. The birds have to be related if you want them to perform the same way. These birds are all related. When I fly the babies off of them, they all roll pretty much the same. The style is the same, the roll is the same, the speed is the same, the depth tends to be the same, velocity tends to be the same. So again, in creating a family, you want to make sure that the birds are related. I take this cockbird and this cockbird, I'll breed it back to any one of his daughters or any one of his brother's daughters. And again, what you're doing, you're making sure those birds are genetically alike. They're a family. They're cousins, second cousins, third cousins, fourth cousins on down the line, and you go right back to the old cocks that produced the parents to them, and I take it back in and out, and I weave it back in and out. And again, that's one particular family.
Okay, well, that's pretty much all the time we got for this video. I just wanted to answer one question. There was a question out there by a guy named Afran. I think he's from India. He was asking about a pigeon disease, a disease regarding ulcers in pigeons' mouth. What do you?
Okay, I apologize if I mess up your name, Afran, but when you talk about birds with ulcers in their mouth, what that sounds like is canker. So I've got 2 products here, which is Canker-X, works great for canker.
Let me see this. Okay.
And the other item I've got is dry pox. Dry pox works great for pigeon pox, and it works for canker. So these two products right here would be great for what you're talking about. Without seeing it, I can't be exactly sure what it is, but it sounds like a canker, because when they get ulcers in their mouth, that sounds like canker. The other thing you can do to prevent your birds from getting canker is make sure they have a clean source of drinking water every day. Put like a cap full of bleach in a gallon of water, so when you get your birds drinking water, they've got that bleach in it. It's an antibacterial. It's going to kill any bacteria that's in the water, and that should help you a little bit. But make sure they have a clean source of drinking water. Secondly, make sure that they are removed from their droppings. If your birds poop and they can stand in their poop, that's a problem. Your birds need to be able to be above their droppings. So have wire. The poop falls through the wire. They can't touch it because they'll pick through those droppings. It gets in their mouth. There's a lot of bacteria in their poop, and then they get canker. So,
all right, sounds
thanks
good.
Once again. Thanks for tuning in. We got more videos coming your way. Keep the questions coming. Appreciate it. And thanks for tuning in to Roller Pigeon Evolution. Thank you.